was a place where there's no trouble, no more pain, no more struggle.
Hi there. Thank you so much for listening to Grounded in Maine today. I'm so excited to share this message with you guys from Allison Taylor. I just met her recently online. She is about to start her own podcast. It's called Everybody's Gotta Eat. And she's going to talk about waste, food waste, and overconsumption. I was very curious about her message, and I'm so glad that I had this conversation with her, because it kind of blew my mind. I mean, this isn't like mind-shattering stuff, but it's so new to me and my mindset that I just felt like I really needed to hear that, and it's so different from what I think and how I've lived, and it just really kind of stopped me in my tracks, and is making me think. So I'm going to, and Allison lives in North Carolina, sorry, and she's so nice, and she's so smart, and I'm really excited, like I said, to share this with you. So I'm going to get right to this. Her information is going to be in the show notes if there's anything that you missed. Hi there, this is Amy. I'm speaking with Allison Taylor today. She's starting her own podcast. It's going to be called Everybody's Gotta Eat. So I'd love for you guys to be on the lookout for that. But Allison is she's passionate about not wasting. She's also passionate about overconsumption and shopping smartly. So Allison, how are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so interested in learning about your food mindset.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
So sometimes I think, and I'm sure a lot of people think that more is better, but then, maybe not if it doesn't get used, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we definitely have the mindset of we are doing well if we have a fully stocked fridge and a fully stocked pantry. And so then that means everyone's doing well. But for me, I have a different mindset. And I think it's just because my husband's in the military, and so we're moving every couple of years. And I have seen what it's like to run out of food, because that's what we do before we move. And just through that, moving around a lot, I've realized it feels better to me to run out of food in my house, so that, first of all, nothing's wasted.
Right.
And second of all, it's just that mindset of, we don't have to have so much of everything.
Right. That's really interesting. And that makes me think a lot about my own personal pantry.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, we have staples that, I have 3 kids, so we do need the snacks. I need those stocked up, right? Each kid has a certain thing that they like. But it's also kind of cool when we run out of, their favorite things, that they get creative and maybe they eat something they wouldn't have eaten otherwise. Yeah, when the day before I go grocery shopping, they're like, "What do we eat?" And then the day I go shopping, they're like, "Oh, yes."
Oh, it makes them appreciate what they have.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's really clever. Oh, gosh. I think I could learn a lot from you. And so let's see. Is this something that you learned with the not wasting, or is this something that you grew up with?
So, no, I grew up with a fully stocked pantry and fridge for the most part. We had 5 different kinds of cereal. We had Pop-Tarts, all those processed foods of the 90s. But yeah, we always had food stocked up. My parents went grocery shopping once a week. So it was kind of the same thing, if something ran out, my parents never just went to the store for one thing. It was, a once a week type thing, shopping trip, which I did learn from that, because if you're going to the store 3 times a week, I think you're going to overbuy.
Sure. Sure, because there's going to be something on sale or something that catches your eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's interesting. I mean, I can totally see the benefit to shopping a couple times a week and buying, having your fresh produce and such. But I think that I would totally fall into that category of like I would totally find something else. I'm an impulse shopper. I have a list always, but I always impulse buy, so it's better if I only go once.
Yeah, and I'm this exact same way. And it can be a lot of work to plan your meals, plan your grocery list, stick to the list, don't buy anything else. And it's not even always financial,
Mm-hmm.
I think especially in America, we have kind of this mindset of just buy, consume, 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 and that equates to status or you're living comfortably,
Right.
And I think it's okay to not always have everything you want,
Sure. Oh, it's such an interesting way to think about it. I completely fall into the other way. And so again, like I could totally learn just from this conversation. Like it just makes me think about my habits. So do you have any tried and true tricks to keep from wasting food, or is it really just like a click in your brain like I don't need that? Is there a how do you do that?
I would say it's a little bit of both. So sometimes I will see a recipe that I want to cook for dinner, and it'll have one ingredient that's a little bit exotic or, not used very often. And I will try to use it within the same week or two for a different dinner that's different enough to keep things interesting, but still uses up that ingredient so it's not sitting in your fridge or pantry for 6 months until you clean and then you're like, oh, oops.
Oh yeah, I bought that for something. Sure.
Yeah. Even spices. Like I I love cooking with spices, but you can go overboard and then pretty soon you have so many spices you can't even find anything.
Yes. Oh, spices are so hard
Yes.
because you want to have enough to change things up and, have different foods, but then how big is your spice cabinet?
Exactly. Yep.
I have to stop myself because I'm like, oh, this would probably be interesting, but I don't have room in my spice cabinet for another spice.
Right.
Yeah, sure. I hear that.
Yeah. So, and then I think I do the grocery shopping primarily in the house, and I just have taken on that task to the fullest. And it's kind of fun for me to stick to the budget, stick to the list, figure out, how to get creative with different ingredients that are left before I go shopping
Mm-hmm.
to use them up. And I also think I have young kids. My kids are 8, 6, and almost 2. So I want to show them how to shop smartly so that we aren't a family that over consumes as far as just buying whatever we want when we go to the store.
Sure. That's a great lesson. I mean, so many kids these days don't have, they're not learning a lot of life skills, in either in the home or at school. Um, so I think those things are important, like cooking and shopping and stuff like that. It's really important to teach the children these things because they're going to go away one of these days and they're not going to know how to do that, or they're gonna, gosh, the whole like extreme couponing is so attractive until you see all the, it's just there's so many foods that are not great for
Yeah.
consumption.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, it's great to save money, but you're gonna put that into healthcare because of all the processed foods.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like when you see coupons, then you feel obligated to buy
Hmm.
because that's the thing that's on sale. So I
Totally.
don't I don't know if you're always saving money because you're always feeling like you have to get all those things that have, you know, the discount.
Right. Totally.
And another thing that's helped me is I shop online a lot and I do order pickup. So I don't always go into the store.
So you're not tempted by a lot of things.
Right, right. And that I think helps a lot too.
Sure. Now, on that note, I'm just curious, because you are in North Carolina, and I'm in Maine, and we actually, so we had COVID in my house back in July, and so we actually used the online shopping for the first time, and I was really worried about it. Like one of the things that I used to enjoy grocery shopping until COVID, but and then people were just grumpy. But I don't like the idea of someone else picking out my produce or my proteins. Canned goods or whatever I don't really care about, but I don't want like bruised peaches and the brown bananas that I won't be able to eat, and stuff like that. And so when we did that, I ordered, or what I thought I ordered, and this was like, there's a learning curve to that. I'm sure you've probably figured that out, but I learned that the hard way. I thought that I was ordering 2 pounds of peaches and 2 pounds of tomatoes, and I got 2 peaches and 2 tomatoes, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do with this? It's not enough to make it through the week. But then like we ordered some seltzer. My husband drinks a lot of seltzer. I don't drink any of it, but he drinks a lot. And so I ordered a couple of those. And I actually got an email saying, we don't have this brand, but we can substitute for another one. I'm like, cool. But then like shredded cheese, I ordered shredded cheese and they were like, well, we didn't have that brand, so we didn't include that. I'm like, but now I have no cheese.
Yeah.
It was so frustrating to me. But anyway, so we had COVID, so we didn't really eat that much anyway. So it was okay. But I was like, lesson learned. But that I totally get that, that you're not tempted by the impulse, the sale items or the candy bars at the checkout aisle, or, whatever is at the end caps or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And especially shopping with my toddler,
Oh,
he
sure.
picks out what he wants too. But yeah, I think I have found my local grocery store. Basically, we text throughout the shopping experience, and
Oh.
I can put in a request like, I don't want my bananas to be brown. Can you make sure they're on the green side?
Oh,
Or,
okay.
I guess meat is a little bit different, but um it comes pre-packaged, so for
Right.
the most part. And they're really good about if they don't have something to either ask what you want what you want it to be replaced with, or not at all.
Right.
And if that happens, it that is a con to doing the online shopping because you have to end up going maybe if it's a vital ingredient for a meal. But overall, I find that it's a better way for me, especially with my toddler. Um, he has about a 10-minute timeline for shopping, so
So you're speed shopping. You're not in it for fun. You're in it to get in and out.
right.
So it's better to do it online, and then you have 10 minutes in the car or whatever, and then everyone's happy.
Yes, exactly.
Sure. Okay. So, Allison, talk to me about overconsumption. What exactly do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is not necessarily how much you eat, although that plays into it. Um, because also as a country, I don't think we understand serving sizes. Um, but besides actually eating, I think overconsumption just going to the store and buying way too much. Um, the problem is COVID kind of also didn't help with that because so many stores were running so low on food, and then the supply chain crisis was happening all at once. It was just a big storm. And so people feel the need to stock up on everything for fear of it not being available when
Right.
they need it.
Yeah.
And I did go through that. I did go to the store and there was hardly anything there. And the way I shop, we really didn't have any food. So that was kind of scary. But now that things have settled down a little bit, there are some times that stores seem to be low on stock in some areas. But I think people just buy to buy. Um,
Right.
and it's one thing if my children love bananas, and so I get 12 bananas every time I go shopping. That makes sense, right? But if you buy a 5-pound bag of apples because you just see it and you put it in your cart, and then you're throwing away 6 apples every week because people don't eat them and they go bad. That's what I mean by overconsumption. Just
Gotcha.
I think the mindset is the more you buy, the more successful you are, the better you're doing, the better it feels. And I would just like to change that narrative, rewrite that narrative that it's okay to run out of food. It doesn't mean you're not doing well. It means you're realizing how much your family actually consumes, what they need, and just doing your part for your lives and your children's lives and generations to come.
Gotcha. So it's like being realistic. Like you don't buy more than what you're actually going to consume. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm famous for that, but I also I have a I sort of see it as a challenge for myself. And this is not going to help. This is completely against your idea, not in a bad way, but like if I get like a CSA box and it's something that it's more than I can use, like potatoes or apples or something like that, I'm going to make some applesauce, or I'm going to make I don't know, baked apples or something. Like I take it upon myself. It's a challenge for me to use that up so it doesn't get wasted.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
or
I
I'll
think
just
that's
like cut it
great.
up and freeze it because I mean I have a jam business, so I will use it eventually.
Yeah,
But then we have several freezers because we have
absolutely.
fruit.
Yeah, and you're in that business.
Right.
So it makes sense for you. And that's the thing. I'm guilty of it too, right? Also, the tastes in your family change. My children go through a phase where they love applesauce or they love yogurt, and then all of a sudden they don't want to eat it anymore.
Totally.
And it's about pivoting, right? So
Yeah.
there's seasons of life, right, where maybe your kids are enrolled in a lot of activities, and so you have to buy the prepackaged snacks or the quick dinners, you know. But then once those things are over, you have to rethink where your family is so that you're not overbuying and wasting food.
Sure. Sure. I mean, I know in the beginning of the pandemic, like there was so much scarcity, and I mean, I know so personally, like I've had an auto ship order of toilet paper from Amazon for years.
Yeah.
Years, like 6 years probably. And then at the beginning of the pandemic, they canceled my toilet paper order and they sent me something that I don't like to use. And I was literally having an anxiety attack. And it's really sad that it was over toilet paper, but like we bought a bidet because I was like, I can't go through life not knowing if I'm gonna have toilet paper.
Yeah.
But totally, like you need to, yeah, things change. I mean, in the summertime we eat so much salad, and in the winter I know I should eat more salad, but it's cold and I don't feel like eating salad. So I have to not buy the salad stuff as much.
Yeah, I've seen a meme on social media that said, "Oh great, let's buy a bag of spinach so that we can throw it away in 2 weeks." You know, because you want to do the right thing and buy healthy food, but then you have to be realistic. Am I going to eat this?
Right. Absolutely. Okay. All right, that makes total sense. I mean, it really does. I could really work on that. And so one of the other things that you had said is that you enjoy shopping smart. And so tell me about that, Allison. Is that about using a budget, or is that like portion control, or am I off in that?
No, you're absolutely right. So definitely a budget. I think a budget in general, especially for something like groceries, is so important because you can go and spend hundreds of dollars and not even feel like you bought anything.
Mm-hmm.
That it can so easily happen, and food is so expensive now. And so shopping smart is figuring out how to buy certain ingredients that can take you further so that you can stick to your budget while also, giving your family the nourishment that they each need. So for me, it's all about being creative, I
Mm.
think I definitely have a part of me that enjoys being creative, and I do feel like um it might sound silly, but I love making up recipes. I love getting creative with, a certain ingredient. Okay, I have to use this twice so that I use it up and so it doesn't go to waste. But yeah, and then shopping smartly is just part of the not overbuying what you need.
Okay. Cool. Um, let's see. All right. So that was those were the questions that I had. And so this podcast, Allison, is sort of a platform for you to share anything that you wanted to share. I mean, I had some questions and I asked my questions, but is there anything else that that you would want to share with folks? I mean, I do have, my last question is, when I say the word sustainability, what does that mean to you? But if you have anything else to add, this is a great time for that.
Awesome. Yeah. I think I would just love to encourage people to think about a little change that they can make to buy more sustainably. If that means going to your local grocery store for produce so that you're getting that fresh produce from a farm that's not too far from where you live. If that means reworking your monthly shipment from whether it's Amazon or wherever it is, rethinking, okay, what do I actually need? What are we actually eating? What am I throwing out that maybe we can try something new? There, it it can be hard to make those changes. But I would just love for people to think about just a small change that they can make that can actually make a big impact for them and the world, really.
I love that. I do. I mean, I like I've said, I mean, I've said it so many times. Like I am of that scarcity mindset, and I stock away food, and but that is, it's a really good thing to think about. Like, do you need all that? Are we going to eat all that this week or in the next 2 weeks, or something like that? I think that's a really important message.
Yeah, and I think eventually if people start to only buy what they need, it can have that ripple effect where those big box brands are thinking, okay, we don't need to produce as much. It doesn't look like people are buying as much of this. And
Gotcha.
that goes into the sustainability for sure.
I love that. I mean, it's a different mindset, and it really just, I think it's important just to be mindful of what we're doing. And I think I say that every week, that it's just, it's a mindset thing, but it's, you're just saying something different than what's been in our brains.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just, just think about what you're buying, and if it's really more than you need, or if it's enough, and is that going to be enough to nourish your family? And I really appreciate that. That's great. Um,
Awesome.
and so when I say the word sustainability, when you think about sustainability, Allison, are you thinking about food, or are you thinking like in general?
I do think in general, my husband and I were just talking about this actually recently, and how we both feel like we have similar views where you don't have to have brand new everything all the time, you know?
Hmm,
If we feel like our family's taken care of, that's awesome. So yeah, it is kind of everything, you know?
right.
Um, shopping, food, just little things, right? You don't have to have your kids don't have to have 10 pair of shoes. They
Right.
may be they may be cute, right?
Right.
But they are going to grow out of them very quickly.
Right.
So
They're
in
not going to have them long enough to wear 10 pair of shoes.
exactly. So invest in the quality shoes and the quality food, all of it, so that you are not just overbuying and overconsuming.
I love it. Oh my gosh. I think I really needed this conversation. I think I really did. I think this is good for me. So Allison, if somebody wants to find you to learn more about your podcast, or your journey as you're raising your family, with the less waste, how would someone find you?
Yeah, so my podcast is scheduled to launch in January. You can find my trailer on Apple Podcasts right now. It's Everybody's Gotta Eat with Allison Taylor. And one thing that I'm really passionate about is helping other moms figure out how to feed their family. So that's going to be a big thing, is menu planning, meal planning. So I'm really excited.
Ooh, do you do menu planning as it is, like right now?
For myself and my family, yes.
Oh, that's very cool. That is not
Yeah.
something that I've been able to do.
Yeah, I really love it. I mean, it's been over the years, learning and getting new recipes in my brain. But
Mm.
yeah.
That's something I'd actually really like to work on someday. Okay, that's very cool. And I don't think I realized that I think you said that your trailer was up already, so I need to go find that. But I'm going to put all this information in the show notes as well. But thank you so much. This is so generous, and this is, like I said, this is so good for me right now, especially with the harvest season and
Absolutely.
stocking up for the cold winter.
Yes. I know that's kind of instinctual, right?
Yeah,
But
we're squirreling away.
we are all trying our best, you know. We're all just doing what's best for our families. So yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate you having me on.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so grateful for your message, and I'm excited to share this.
Me too.
I want to just take a quick second and thank my guest again. I also need to thank Buzzsprout for hosting the podcast, and Jane Bolduck for her amazing music. And thank you for listening.
There'll come a day, my mama told me, when I find love to have and hold me, a heart that's strong and so sincere. Just tell me, how do I get there from here? Oh, tell me, how do I get there from here? 'Cause here and now I'm so far down that mercy's bound, yeah, to find me. We'll find a way to soothe the sickness. We'll heal the hate with sweet forgiveness. Wages of war will disappear. Just tell me, how do I get there from here? I wonder, how do I get there from here? Yeah, 'cause here and now I'm so far down, and mercy's bound, yeah, to find me. When that state of grace has finally found me, well, there'll be music, ooh, and good friends around me, yeah, yeah. And I'll just smile through happy tears and wonder,